Hello again. Long time no see. Welcome back to If I May. If I may start by saying I'm sorry that I've been gone for so long. But I am back. And here to stay. To quote the Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not leaving. I'm not. I'm back. It's been a long year. It's been a hard year. It's been a tough year. Trying, however you want to put it. But out of it, I know great things are coming. Had a lot of loss. A lot of defeat. But I know that I've gained a lot of wisdom, understanding, at least, and motivation to create something of my own. Learned a lot of lessons the hard way this year. But sometimes that's life. Sometimes that's how we have to learn. As painful and unfortunate it is, some of us, myself, obviously, just takes a real hard knocking to wake us up to those deeper things that we struggle to see. As much as I wanted to see them before and acknowledge them before, there's always those mental blocks that our mind puts in there that protects us from seeing things that are to our detriment in the long run. But in the short run, they seem okay. They seem to protect us. But moving on, man. Moving on. I hope to pick up where I left off. I hope to see I hope for exponential growth in the podcast, in the community, and in some various other avenues, areas, ventures I am pursuing now and will be sharing. So please come along. Please join. Please connect. Please share with me your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas, and help me establish this identity. I'm talking about identity and this mission thing over the past month. Sorry for my heavy breathing there. Over the past month, I have been working really hard on creating a brand, personal brand. I've always been a black sheep. I've always been someone who I just don't like. I don't follow the curve. I don't want to follow the curve. Who craves originality and uniqueness and prides himself on that, and sophistication and in intellect and deeper thinking, philosophy, self-mastery. And I think one part of myself that I've denied a lot, and I think because as growing up, being raised as the oldest, I was pushed to be, and I was smart. Parents would always tell me, teachers would always tell me, then other students would tell me, smart. I do something smart, intellectually oriented, and that's where most of my focus has been. But there's always been a deep yearning and need for creativity and a creative outlet, and it's bounced around, and creative expression, even in the most intellectual of endeavors, and especially in anything that I do and commit myself to. And I feel that, like I said, I've denied myself from it a lot. I've suppressed it a lot. I have withheld my time and effort spent in creativity and creative expression. And when I think about it, I'm like, why? Because in the times where I have actively put it out there, I I don't I've never gotten bad feedback. I've never gotten it's never been like disorienting. It's never been like dissuading from continuing it. Quite the opposite. On this podcast, when I initially started it with no prior experience, no knowledge, just picked it up and wanted to try it and started doing it. And I was getting hundreds of views, and I got over the last year, but really almost all of that came within the first few months. I got almost 300 plus downloads in 3 months. And when I think back on this past year and how I didn't even invest in it at all, man, it makes me sad. It makes me want to cry. But again, I need to not focus on the past. I'm here now. I can do it now. And I hope to build off of that. I write poetry to express like deep emotions that I felt that I didn't have someone to share with or connect with or felt would understand or didn't want to burden them with. And when I have shared that poetry, always positive feedback. No matter how dark it is, it's still uplifting, validating feedback. Even when I was younger, I used to draw, doodle. I wasn't a great artist or painter or drawer like that. I wasn't that type of artist. But I always had an interest in it, and so I dabbled. And I dabbled in a lot of things like music, production, and DJing, and photography. And at this point in my life now, I'm like, how can I put all of this together and make something for myself? Because over this last year, I've been and the last few years, really, and throughout my life, I've seen this, recently at least, seen this trend of putting these efforts, like working so hard for someone, for a relationship, for a company, for some sort of validation, respect, to convince them that I'm worth what I internally feel I am. And in the end, I continually get disappointed, get hurt, crushed, because so often I get burnt out, putting in all this effort, having to try so freaking hard, for them to just deny it in the end. When I question it, when I challenge it, when I speak up for myself about how I don't feel appreciated or valued. And then on some extremely toxic levels, like in this past relationship and this work dynamic I was in, both recently and in my previous job role, just like toxic managers who you like, I'm versatile, always doing a lot, always training in other areas and all this stuff, asking for more pay, asking for promotional opportunities, and it never comes up. But what does happen is they keep asking me to do more, and I keep doing more. And then I'm like, here, I've done more, I continue to do more, so why can't I have more? Oh, budget doesn't allow for it. Oh, productivity's low. What? Just like these, like, I don't know how to put it. It's like lies. Show me the evidence. And they show me evidence. And there's nothing there. It just baffles me, the point that I've been in. And I could really go on, and I've talked so much about it with other people recently, and that I really don't want to just use my platform and my podcast to vent, I do want to talk about things, and I will vent some, but I want it to be productive. I want it to be to build connection and understanding with those who listen and hear and respond and are active in this community I'm trying to build. But let me tell you a little bit about that personal brand, that community, that business. Like I said, I've been fed up with that dynamic of working hard for relationships, putting in exhaustive amount of effort mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, into a place, into a person outside of myself, to be led to feel like I'm the one letting others down, like I'm the one letting the business down, I'm the one letting the relationship down. But then I step outside of it and look at it from an outside view, and to me it's so clear. And not just to me, like I get other opinions, I get outside opinions, and as best as I can, I describe the dynamic in an encompassing manner, in a broad, full-scale manner, as best as I can, without too much bias. Because I don't want to feel like, I don't want to disillusion myself. I want to disillusion. Sorry. I don't want to lead myself into delusion through my own bias, and I don't want to be that way. So I do seek genuinely outside opinions and perspectives, and think for myself too. Put myself in their shoes. I'm very good at that. I always have been, so that's why it just drives me crazy when people don't see that. They don't understand it. They don't respond to me like that's what's going on. It creates this, and it's happened in so many relationships in my life. Romantic relationships, friendships with my family. This cognitive, cognitive dissonance, where I identify as something, but then those people and circumstances around me are seemingly rejecting that idea, rejecting that identity. And I realized that in many of these circumstances, it's two things. One, these people have very low self-esteem. Often have very low self-esteem. They are often intimidated by me. And this isn't just coming from my own thought. People have said this to me and shared this perspective themselves without any kind of prompting. And I've considered it for myself as well. And it is very true that there are so many people who are intimidated by me, by my work, by my efforts, by my articulation, by my intellect, by the way that I am, by my confidence. But the thing is that I've realized recently is you can have confidence and still have a low self-esteem. Those things don't go hand in hand. And I have realized that those people have a really low self-esteem. But the other thing that I realized is the reason that it throws me for a loop so much is it triggers me. Traumas and stuff from my past. Or two, like, I have had a low self-esteem. And I guess, even in talking about it right now, it's not a stable, I don't know the term, but it's not like a stable factor. It's not like a shelf. It doesn't just stay there once you put it there. It fluctuates. Just like confidence does. Confidence can fluctuate. Esteem fluctuates. And in the same way, mental health fluctuates, just like physical health fluctuates. You just because you're healthy, if someone is mentally healthy, that doesn't mean that they're mentally healthy for the rest of their life. In that moment, at that time, they're mentally healthy. And the thing that I found is, and there's different versions of healthy. Just like physically, there's different versions of healthy. Mental and physical health, I think, are more in tandem in their nature than we typically deem them to be, than we typically treat them. It's something I've realized recently. Anyways, there are different levels of health, and I've been in unhealthy environments, and those unhealthy environments have taken a toll on me. and my mental health, and my physical health. And I've left myself too often victim to them. Instead of manning up, for lack of better terminology, and taking more control over my circumstances, and being more realistic with myself and my own capabilities. Also, believing in myself, taking risks on myself, investing in myself. The way that I do these other people and these other things. I haven't done that. I've done a very bad job of that. For that, I've treated myself the same way that they've been treating me. And enabled them, these people, these circumstances, to treat me that way because I'm doing it myself. That's really been one of the biggest lessons I've learned this last year. And something that I am intentional about changing, 180-degree turn away from it, moving forward. So with this job, I ended that relationship December last year. I cut off friendships and family relationships that held that dynamic, and am finding and building new and healthy relationships. Standing up for myself, speaking up for myself, and not tolerating less than I give, off, or offer. Not betraying myself. I realize being too tolerant is very dangerous to oneself. Because if you're too tolerant, you can easily betray yourself because you're not considering yourself when you're being tolerant. You're just considering others, and you're selling yourself short a lot of times. Not always, but you can fall into that very easily. Anyhow, yeah, to wrap up that little monologue, I turned in my 2-week notice at the job that I've been working at for the last almost 2 years next month. My last day is February 28th, the day right before my birthday. I ended that relationship, year-long relationship that I just had this past year. Very tumultuous relationship. In December, changed my number, cut off toxic people in my life, started seeing a new therapist, and I am pursuing building my own business, starting my own entrepreneurial journey. I don't have another job another job lined up. I don't really have much savings. I don't really have much at all. I have to find somewhere to find new living arrangements by the end of April. By the end of May. So that's good. I was thinking I only had 2 months, but I have 3 there. I did work out a severance package with my job, so I'll get a 4 weeks pay, so a month, and then 2 months benefits, basically. So I'll still have some medical insurance to help me get by until I can figure out what's next. But I'm really hoping that things with this podcast, some things on the digital creation front with my Etsy store, with an Etsy store that I've started, and like I said, building this brand, really been into AI and digital creation there, especially with Midjourney, DALL-E, stuff like that. Really taking advantage of that and learning about it and trying to take advantage of it as best as I can for now and for the future. And so a part of this episode is me extending a hand and asking if you'll believe in me, if you'll give me the chance if you'll help me in accomplishing this, if you'll take a part in building this community and building this brand. I honestly don't want to work for someone else again. I don't want to work for a company that obviously doesn't appreciate me as a person and then doesn't value my efforts, doesn't value my quality, doesn't value me at all, where I have to fight for it. And even when I do that, I hardly get it. And if I do, it's the bare minimum. To struggle for nothing. I can't still 10 years in the workforce, going above and beyond constantly, every job that I work, just to be given no opportunity and given nothing but excuses for why it doesn't come. No, little to no pay increase, pennies every year, quarters at most, but it doesn't impact my life as many others are feeling. What am I supposed to do? I can't afford to support myself on $20 an hour, on $40K a year, on $45K a year. No one can. I can't have anything with that. I can't even afford my own place with that. I can't get out of debt with that. Last year, I had huge financial struggles with my car breaking down. And I have regular doctor and medical needs to manage and keep under control my condition that's very rare. It's hyaline fibromatosis syndrome, if I haven't shared before, but it's super rare. It's not understood very well. And really the only most impactful care is surgery. I think I've discussed this before, but lost 8 of my toes, at least partially. Had two, can't even think now. Partial amputations on 2 of my fingers. I've had surgery on my ears multiple times, surgery on my nose multiple times, surgery on my chest, my back, I've had close to 40 surgeries, if not more, in my life. And I can't keep losing stuff. I want to change my life. I want to create a future that I can be proud of, a future I can have hope in, a future where I'm not a victim of circumstances I can't control. And I feel there's so much potential for that. But that potential isn't found working for someone else, doing something for someone else. It's found in me. So for those who believe, who want the same thing for themselves, who believe in that in me, who want to join in and find their way also, who just want to follow along and hear my journey, anyone who wants to take part in any way, your support, your value, your love, your encouragement, your activity, it's not just wanted, it's not just valued, it's needed. It's needed and desired. So please share, get involved, participate, help me accomplish this. Help me provide value for you, because I don't want to just be a burden. I want to contribute, and like I said before, I feel I have a lot to contribute, and help me in shaping that for this community, for you. Help me by being a part of it, not just enabling me to, but becoming a part yourself. There's so many plans, so many ideas that I have, but I need support that I haven't had before to accomplish it. And I'm taking that risk on myself. I'm working hard. I'm doing everything that I know to. So all of it is helpful. But to finish up, let me tell you a little bit about this business, this brand that I'm building. The name of the brand is Atypicul. Atypicul. Atypical. And that's because that's the kind of person I want to be. That's the kind of person that I am in a lot of ways. And that's the kind of community I want to build. The kind of business I want to have, or businesses I want to run. That is who I am. It's not just a brand. It's not just a marketing slogan or name or coined phrase. It's a reflection of my journey, my passions, and my relentless pursuit of the extraordinary in a world that too often settles for ordinary. My mission with Atypicul is to share, inspire, and explore the realms of innovation, ingenuity, self-mastery, and the boundless potential of AI and technology, not just as tools, but as extensions of our creativity, our intellect, and ourselves. I am a polymath at heart. My interests span the spectrum from the nuances of neurodiversity, especially in regards to ADHD and autism, to the depths of INFJ personality, insights, and similar typographies, the realms of digital creativity, and the limitless horizons of potential in technology, AI, in every area of life. I'm driven by a desire to innovate, to create, to shatter the glass ceiling that I've been living under. I aspire to embody the atypical, rare, unique, authentic, and creative. The areas I'm going to focus on in this podcast, with this brand, and myself moving forward are innovation and ingenuity, self-mastery, AI and technology, neurodiversity, digital creativity and design, autonomy, and entrepreneurship. What I want to build is way bigger than anything I can do on my own. It's a dream that I've had since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a pastor or a missionary. I wanted to travel the world, learn, meet people, connect with people, leave an impact, a positive, uplifting impact on people's lives, do something fulfilling. And as I grew and learned and understood, I have not fallen away, but decided that the religious side of it isn't for me. But that dream to travel, to embrace people, to embrace not just my own unique originality, but that of everyone else in a world that pushes us to all be the same, in a world that pathologizes differences in thinking, in logic, in cognition, in belief, in interest, in talent, in expression. I want to embrace that, because that is where we evolve, we step forward in the world. I want to be I hate the terminology, but a beacon, a shining light, a lighthouse. I want to be a representation of that. I want to be a leader in those realms, in those regards, and grow and blend myself into all of those things in a harmonious way that brings fulfillment to my life and fulfillment to the lives of those I am around, and those lives I influence, and those lives that I touch. An expression of genuinely altruistic nature. So if I may, join in, be a part of this community, and build something with me. We can bridge the gap between dreams, ideals, and reality. Thank you so much.